My check 1 2. It's the Y2K collector, and one of the questions that I think every collector asks themselves at least once a year is, am I done collecting? Am I good with my collection as it stands? Do I need to buy anything else? Is there anything else on my wish list that I'm actively hunting for? And depending on the answers to those questions, that's really what drives, I think, collectors and drives their level of tenacity when it comes to going out game hunting, whether it be on a daily basis at their local game stores, or even if it means going a little bit further than that and say attending like a gaming convention or anything of that nature. And right now we are in game convention season. Like this is the season of all the conventions, right? So everyone is, hitting something up, whether it's SoCal Gaming Expo, Retro Expo, Long Island Retro Expo, Siege, I think is coming up. And there's all these different conventions. And, I think what happens is this is the point, this is the time of the year where I think if you're a collector and you have something on your wish list that you cannot find at your local mom and pop shop, you cannot find it on, eBay, wherever it is, right? Facebook Marketplace, GameStop, whatever you want to call it. I think that's when the more tenacious hunters decide to go out and see if they can get this one of one game at a game convention. Me personally, I honestly feel like I'm at a point where um, if it's not a deal, if I'm not really getting a deal, whether it be some type of promotion or if it's not a deal that I can find like online easily, I feel like for me, it's pretty much on pause right now. It's not to say that I won't buy any games if I find them. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to attack a deal if I think it's a deal, or if I happen to run into a game that I want. It doesn't mean that I'm not gonna go ahead and pick that up. But as far as the pursuit of games, hunting, being tenacious, the daily grind, going to game conventions, I think for me, there's going to be a real slowdown, not a pause, not a halt, but a slowdown. Because, even with the last buy to get one, it feels like that's the only way that I pick up games lately is if it's like a buy two get one, or if I easily just found the game, right? Like, and by easily, I mean, I walked into GameStop to check one thing. I walked in there and they randomly had, I don't know, some really rare PlayStation 1 or PlayStation 2 game there. And so I decided to buy it because it was there. It was easy. It was a below market value and it made sense for me to get it. In that case, then yeah, I'll go ahead and do that. But I'm not going out of my way to try and build a collection at this point, primarily because I have a lot of the games that I actually want. Like I've kind of built and curated the collection that I think works really well for me, especially when it comes to retro games. Of course, there's a few out there that I would love to have, like Tail Concerto or Misadventures of Trombone or Blazing Star, Hagane. I mean, but those, actually an original copy of Klonoa would be nice as well. But outside of like the 10 to 20 like really rare games that I know I'll likely never find in the wild, there's really nothing that calls my name. Even when I'm out in the wild, a lot of the games that I see that would pique my interest, I kind of already have them in my collection already. So, for me, getting them would either be a condition upgrade or some type of double up. So I say all that to say, well, why Y2K? Why are you saying this? I'm saying that because I don't know if this is a trend that's happening across the board. And I'm not talking about people giving up game collecting because it's too expensive, or giving up game collecting because you thought it was going to make you a successful YouTuber and it didn't, or giving up game collecting because, you're just mad at resellers. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about people who are slowing down on game collecting because they're actually satisfied. Like you're satisfied with what you have, you're satisfied with your collection, you are content, you are okay with adding games, you're okay if you don't add another game ever again. You feel good with the collection that you've built. You feel good with what you've curated, and you're ready to kind of just enjoy it. Enjoy the collection, play the games one by one, take your time, start to knock out that backlog, start to, you know, just explore or dive back into games that maybe you've already beaten, seeing if you can uncover hidden levels, different things like that. So I think that's kind of the position that I'm in. I think behind all of that too, right? Behind just being content is life. There's a lot of life that I think people forget that collectors have. Video game collectors, even video game collectors that are on YouTube, they don't just collect. They have lives. They have things that they're doing. They're not just sitting home playing video games all day. They're spending time with their family, their girlfriend, their boyfriend, their husband, their wife, their children. They're going on vacations, they're attending graduations, they're, going out for dinner. They're doing all these things. And, once you start to like live life, and you enjoy the life that you're living, video games almost become a byproduct. For me, video games has always been a way to kind of escape times in life that are difficult. And I think that's why video games for so many are so nostalgic, because for many, video games were that escape. It was what you went to for enjoyment. It was what you went to because it was a safe space for you mentally, maybe even emotionally in some cases. So, but when you're living life and when life is enjoyable and you're enjoying real relationships, you're enjoying just getting outside, being in nature, just doing tangible things, touching grass, breathing fresh air. When you are engaged in that, I think that's when, the gaming and the collecting start to take a little bit of a back seat. So I've definitely seen the trend of people giving up collecting because it's too expensive. I've definitely seen the trend of people giving up collecting because of resellers. I've definitely seen the collecting trend, or the trend of collectors walking away because it didn't give them the validation they were looking for. It didn't help them achieve any type of social status, whether it be in real life or on YouTube. I've seen a lot of people give that up, but I don't know if I'm seeing too many videos these days of people saying, hey, I'm satisfied. Like, I'm satisfied with the collection, and I don't need to go out and hunt. So you guys let me know what you think about this down in the comments below. I know this year, my hunting has never been as slow as it's been this year. Like, if there were no Game Stops near me, I probably would have only gone game hunting maybe 5 times. It's only because there's literally Game Stops in almost every location that I just do basic weekly functions, that I'm able to just go there. But if it weren't for that, I probably wouldn't have added much to my collection outside of the trades that I've done this year. So let me know down in the comments below. Are you hitting a point of satisfaction? Are you satisfied with your collection? Are you good? Or do you feel like there's more that you need to add, that you need to go out there and aggressively hunt for? Let me know down in the comments, and I'll catch you in the next video. It's the Y2K Collector. Take it easy.